Hey guys, so I made a video on my phone about this topic that I'm about to go into, but there was just something that I need to say that's longer than a 2-minute video, and I feel the need to have a longer video that's more impactful and with the intention that it's going to resonate with the right people. As we dive in here, you're going to see what I'm talking about and why I have this intensity, but it's all coming from the best place, okay? It's all coming from a place of love. And I am just so excited to get people unstuck and finding their purpose, finding their sense of accomplishment, and literally just living their best lives. Our lives are way too short to not be doing that. And we often generate stories in our head because of society and because of lifestyle growing up, influences from others in our life, from our parents, from teachers, from like aunts and uncles, family, friends, all of it, all of the thoughts that we have and doubts and things that prevent us from moving forward in a way of life isn't necessarily ours. And you're allowed to change your mind. You're allowed to make a different decision in your life. So this video is for you. If you're feeling trapped in your 9-to-5 job, if you're feeling like you're lacking purpose or drive in your life, if you're feeling like you're lacking a sense of accomplishment, you're just stuck and you're feeling trapped, okay, this video is for you. If you're wanting a life of freedom, if you're wanting a life with choices and opportunities and a life that you're actually proud of, not saying that you're not proud of your life right now, and it's okay if that chapter is done, but it's also empowering to know that chapter is done and seeing what the potential is from there. For those of you new to my page, my channel, all the things, my name is Shanae. I'm a health and wellness mentor. I work predominantly with women, but basically with individuals who are feeling stuck and who are wanting a different life and just not sure how to get there. Trying to go break through limiting beliefs, basically get through any struggles or hurdles that they're putting up for themselves and getting them to live their best life, showing them what is possible. I want to paint a picture for you because there's a scenario, if you will. You might have gone through the route of education. Fun fact, I never went back to college. I finished my high school degree, whatever. And I knew that college just wasn't for me. I knew that I wasn't going to throw a bunch of money at something that there was no guarantee that I'd actually have work. I had seen way too many people doing just that, where they go and hustle and they're working their asses off. They work for 4+ years to get this education because this is what you're supposed to do. And they still end up working at McDonald's. They still end up working in a factory. They still end up working in a warehouse because those are the only jobs that they could get. They are educated. They are also like hundreds of thousands of dollars in debt. That made zero sense to me. It just did not click. And even more so now with the opportunities that like 2023 has and like moving forward, it doesn't make sense to me. Like it just doesn't make sense. I don't know. And if that makes sense to you, and if like your calling is in education, if your calling is being a doctor, I am not slamming that whatsoever. But you're also not the person that I'm talking to. Because the person I'm talking, that doesn't make sense to them. And that's okay. There is a need for everyone on this planet. Everyone has a purpose. For some people, that's being a doctor. For some people, that's being like in education. All the things. Everyone has their role to play here. But like I said, the people that I'm talking to are the people that I want in my circle of people or that I hope to resonate with are people that don't feel like they fit in that structure. They've always felt like the odd duck. They felt like this 9 to 5 life just doesn't make sense to them. They're doing it because they were told that they have to do that, but it's like, why am I doing this? Like, I don't really get it. It's not making sense, but I'm just doing it because I was told. I don't know. Those people who have an inner knowing that like that 9 to 5 life just isn't for you. And the corporate life, I should say, is not for you because it's restricting. There is a ceiling that gets put on you. You get put into a box, and not all of us are designed for that. And that's okay. And I'm not at all slamming anybody who is in those corporate lives and are like living their best life and slaying, if you will. That's amazing for you. Again, you're not who I'm talking to. Okay. So I want to like paraphrase or preface whatever that. It's just what it is. I even made some notes for this, you guys, because I have something to say and I want to stay on track. So basically, going back to painting a picture. So say you went through school. You could have come from a line of doctors, nurses. You could have come from a line of teachers. You could have come from a line of educated people, right? Like people that have become accountants, gone into finance, like all of the things, right? And you just followed suit because everyone like in your family did that and it just made sense. But there's just like something in you that's like, you went through your schooling, you got the job that your dream job that you wanted, and you're like working there for maybe 2 years, 5 years, 10 years. And is that it? Is that all that I'm supposed to do every day? Like I'm supposed to wake up, take care of my family if you have a family, go to work, come back, do it again, rinse and repeat. This is it. This is our life, really? Because that sounds pretty damn boring to me. And I don't know, like there's something in you that's questioning it now. And maybe you're like scared to make any decisions or make any moves because you have security within your job. You have a pension lined up potentially. You've got benefits. I know benefits cost money, like extended medical costs money. The cost of living is going up. And a lot of people, even just the thought of leaving that secure job is enough to be like, oh, it's a hard no, see you later. I'm done. I'm not like, I don't want anything to do with this conversation. But what I want to ask you and what I want to present to you is basically a choice. You have a choice. You can change your mind. And if you keep telling yourself that I've spent all this money on education, I have to follow through with this, my family's going to be mad at me because I did X, Y, and Z. I've got all these responsibilities. I have a family of my own now I have to provide for them. Like, how am I supposed to provide for them and actually be happy? What does that even look like? Those are all really valid. Those are all really like true things. And that's all stuff that I was feeling stuck, feeling trapped, feeling like, what's the point? Is where I was at for many years. I had a 15-year working career, mostly in retail, administration. Never really found my groove with it. I had a deep knowing that I was going to be a business owner. I knew that I was going to be an entrepreneur at some point, and I knew that I wanted to help people. Those were like facts. Like those were like in my core, like what I knew to be true. What I also knew is that I needed experience. And so going through my course of life of 15 years of customer service, of learning and growing and doing the things, bouncing between jobs, losing jobs, like everything, you name it, it's probably happened to me. It is what it is. And at the time, you don't know, like you're going through the stuff and it's just really hard to understand why something's happening. And if you're not aware or even like thinking about potential shifting in your life, or like changing direction, or even like thinking about what life could be like outside of this job. There's a part of you that knows that they want freedom. There's a part of you that knows that they want a different life. And I want to tell you that is a possibility. Like, you can have that. Like, you can change your mind, and you can work from the beach for 2 hours a day and make a bunch of money if that's what you want. You can travel the world while working from your phone and your laptop. You can literally be a present parent. If you never grew up with that and that was like your goal, now you're working this 9 to 5 job and you're like, I thought that this was what I was supposed to do. I was supposed to go and have this 9 to 5 job so that I could bring stable income for my family so that I can be a present parent, but yet you're completely burned out. You're exhausted when you come home because you have to make all the food, you have to take care of the house, and you have to still be a present parent, and you have to like somehow take care of yourself, which is not happening because you're the lowest on the totem pole, right? You're allowed to change your mind. And it all comes down to mindset, and it all just comes down to realizing that that was a season. You had to do certain things to get the experience. You had to meet certain people in your life. You had to come to certain realizations on your own. And there's a reason why you went down that path. There is a reason for everything you do. There's literally everything is there for a reason. Okay. I'm just going to say that, leave it at that. But it's really empowering knowing that you are allowed to change your mind. And I wish that somebody had told me that, like, when I was in like my darkest days, when I was like at that point where I'm like, I'm so stuck, like I have no idea what to do, just like chronic overwhelm, just what the hell am I supposed to do with this life? Like, why? Like, this is so hard. What the hell is the point? That was really hard. That was a really hard time to go through. I almost didn't make it. And there was just something in me that was like, it's not time yet. It is not time to go yet. There's something else that you have to do here. And I had to fight. I didn't have any example. I didn't have someone to say, hey, like, there's a way out. Let me show you. Let me show you what that looks like. I didn't have that hope, that glimmer of that light, if you will, whatever. I had to do some very deep diving inside and making a decision for myself and putting myself first. And that meant for a long time, I was putting everyone else's needs ahead of mine. I was like, I became a mom and I'm like, this is it. This is my purpose. Like, I finally feel like I'm like, this is what I'm supposed to do. And then as my mental health started to like downgrade and take a hit because I was literally so burned out. Self-care was like not even on my radar. I was not eating properly at all, barely eating in the day, barely hydrating enough. Like, going on a walk, what the hell is that? There was no concept of like self-care. There was also no concept of self-compassion. I would beat myself up so bad. Like, I was my worst enemy. And I would say, you're not enough. You're doing all this stuff for the family. It's just not enough. The perfectionism was so real. And I just felt like I was not enough. It didn't matter what I did. It didn't matter like how hard I was fighting to get through every single day. It just wasn't enough. And now after going through my healing journey, and the healing really like never stops. It's an ongoing process, and personal growth, self-development, all that stuff, it's an ongoing process. But when I decided I needed to get help, I needed to talk to somebody, I needed to figure out what was going on. And this was not me. Like, I was generally a pretty laid back, just whatever, just go with the flow kind of person. And all of a sudden I'm like really angry, raging all the time, just not myself. And I also had a lot of anger issues growing up that I suppressed, and all of that was like resurfacing now. And once I started talking it out and seeing a therapist and unpacking all of that's when life started to become less hard. That's when I started to see that potential. I started to see that it's going to be okay. Self-compassion to this day is still really hard for me. I still have a really hard time with like in the moment as things are happening, as something goes wrong or whatever, I still blame myself like by it's like a response, right? It's just like a reaction to the situation. That is something I'm working on. I'm very aware of it. And it's a response to childhood trauma. And it's a response to just stories or things that people have imposed on me and being a people pleaser and having to not make a mistake. Because mistakes are bad, right? Like, we're not allowed to make mistakes. But as soon as you get out of this lack mindset, scarcity mindset, that's when life starts happening. We get into this, like these fixed mindsets based on stories from other people's experiences and not being allowed to explore and to live life on your terms. Just not having that like flexibility and not allowing yourself to be like, hey, I'm doing something new here. It may not work. That's okay. Either way, I'm going to be learning a lesson. Either way, something good is going to come out of it. When you get to that place, that's more of the growth mindset, right? And that's where you're, oh, like you're now seeing failure as opportunities. You stop feeling so scared. You stop like putting these limits on yourself where it's, I can't do this because of X, Y, and Z. Those excuses stop because you get out of your own way and you start saying, but what if? What if it did work out? What if I did have that lifestyle? What does that lifestyle look like? For me, it's on a beach. I want my house to literally be on the beach. And I want my kids to be like, I can hear their laughter. I can literally like envision my life sitting there on my patio with my coffee, working in the morning, seeing the kids playing and stuff like right by the ocean, by the water, hearing their little laughter, having my dog run around. I want that vision to be so clear for you too. And I want that to be like something that you're leaning on and that you're like, hey, that is possible for me too. And all of these things, it may feel like it's so far and it might feel like it's totally impossible. But impossible is a limiting belief. That's just something that you are telling yourself. It's a story that you're telling yourself. It's a form of protection of like your brain protecting you from the unknown. And once we stop fearing the unknown and I'm actually embracing that, leaning into fear, all of these things, life just really starts becoming a lot more colorful. Sitting in the grayness of feeling stuck and trapped, it's exhausting. Okay. Depression is real. Mental health is real. And there is ways, there's tools, there's people, there's support around you. There's a community that is ready with open arms that wants to support you and like help pull out all that stuff, help you process all of that stuff, help you like live your best life and get to your purpose. And it's just finding that community, right? It's finding this group of people that just like literally it's a warm hug every single time you talk to them. And I like literally want that for everybody because that is the best life. And in all of this, any hardship that comes around, it's a lot easier to navigate. It's a lot easier to work through it because you have the tools. You've done the mindset work and you've done the things needed to work through it versus just like holding on to it. When bad things happen in our life, when situations happen in our life, it just gets that energy. If we don't actually process it and have it move through our bodies, it gets stuck, it gets trapped. And that's when you're hearing terms like childhood trauma, like literally feeling like you're having like a childlike reaction, a tantrum to something. That's like it's a response, right? It's your body's response to that situation that's happening. It's a decision that you have to make. Okay. It's really that simple. It comes down to a decision. And not knowing, it's not up to you to know how it's going to happen, how all of it's going to play out. That's not your job to know that. It's not up to you to know when it's going to happen. However, it is up to you to make a decision. And it's up to you to be aware that, like, when you have that voice inside your head that says, is this really it? There has to be more to that, like, more to this life. Like, really? You have a feeling in your gut that's, hey, this isn't our life. This is not for us. This was someone else that put this idea in our head that this is how we're supposed to live life, but this is not it. Like, I want to try again. Where's the reset button? It's a decision that has to be made. And that's as simple as that. There's no knight in shining armor that's coming around. There's no one that's going to make this decision for you. Okay. My purpose in life is to empower you to make a decision and to put yourself first, to prioritize your self-care, to work on your mindset stuff, to live your best life, to choose you. Because if you don't do that, no one else is going to do that for you. You could have the best people around you, but if you don't believe in yourself and you don't believe in your potential, and if you don't believe in your self-worth, you don't love yourself, it's going to be really hard, and that's going to be a hard life. And that's essentially what I do with my clients, is we work through that stuff. I give you the tools and the resources that you need to be able to get the help, to get the support, get the community, get the things, whatever it is, using my past experiences and the experiences of those that I've helped in the past, and just everything, to be able to get you to a place that's empowering and that, like, you are the priority now. So that doesn't mean that your family isn't a priority. That doesn't mean that your job's not a priority, but your happiness should be number one on your list every single day. And it is a choice. It's a choice that you're making every single day. Just like you're choosing to show up for your family, you're choosing to show up for your spouse, you're choosing to show up for that job. Those are all choices that you have to make every single day, decisions that have to be made every single day. And you choosing yourself, choosing to love yourself, doing daily healthy habits, all the things, those are all choices. When you have that really clear vision of your life, of what it looks like, and you understand the, like, sort of steps along the way, holy shit, it takes so much pressure off of making decisions, because you're just like, yeah, this is what I have to do. And when life happens, and it does, shit happens all the time, but it makes it so much easier to come back to your baseline, because you've created that baseline and you're like, no, I am working on something really big here, and nothing else is going to sway me from that. And that's where I want, what I'm trying to help people get to. And it's hard because not everyone sees the potential in themselves. Not everyone believes in themselves. And that's the starting point. And it's just making a decision. It's just listening to your gut and listening to that voice and saying, hey, what happens if this happens? So these are a few questions I want you to, like, process and think about. So when you think of making change in your life, what's coming up for you? What feelings and doubts are showing up? I guarantee you, if you're sitting in the space of you're feeling trapped and stuff, and you're, like, scared to make a move, you don't know what's going on, there's going to be stuff that comes up when I say that. So when you think of making change in your life, what is coming up for you? What doubts, what feelings, all the things. Like, I want you to, like, literally write that down for yourself. What is showing up? You may not be able to name the feeling either. You might just feel it in your body. Like, it might show up in a different way. Like, your body, your chest might feel tense. You might get, like, a knot or a ball in your stomach. Your heart might start racing. You might just feel, like, sweaty or just, like, anxious. Like, it's okay if you can't name it. That's fine. It's just becoming aware that something is showing up. What story are you telling yourself that's making you stay in your current situation? So if there is fear around you leaving the situation, leaving the job, whatever, like, what story you're telling yourself that you're convincing yourself to stay in that current situation? And then what does your life look like in 5 years if you don't make any changes right now? Are you actually going to be happy? Are you working towards anything bigger? Is your life the same? Is it worse? What happens? What is happening in the next 5 years? And then what does your life look like in 5 years if you make a decision to change your life? Despite feeling scared, despite feeling judged, despite not knowing what it's going to look like, just having a bit of blind faith, trusting your gut, trusting your intuition. What does your life look like? I want you to put in the chat what is holding you back, what fears, what like stories, whatever is coming up, whatever feelings are coming up when you think about making change in your life and like what that looks like. I want to know what is holding you back. Now, to just wrap things up here, because if you're still hanging out here, there's a reason for that. So I'm just going to say that there are many ways that I help my clients overcome their limiting beliefs. My latest program that's coming out helps you to overcome these things. So it helps you to get to a place of feeling accomplished, feeling like you have a sense of community around you, support. You start creating that support system of people that are like wanting to do personal development, self-growth, all the things, right? You get to a place of having that community around you. You feel accomplished and you feel like so proud of yourself for doing something for you. The program that I've built out, and this has been like a year in the making, it literally is a framework to help you with your goal setting, and it helps you to create your vision, and it helps you to break everything down into smaller pieces so it's not so overwhelming. And having that community around you as you go through the different modules, as you go through all the things, it's going to help you to feel supported. And it's going to help you to actually make these decisions, because not every decision is going to be easy. It doesn't just show up. It doesn't just happen. There's going to be a lot of time of like marinating and stewing in your stuff and just like thinking about things and like processing, and like it's a 6-week boot camp. There's only so much that I can put into one program. There's going to be multiple programs I'm building out, by the way, but this one was the big one that I had to start with to help people just get started. It's just that simple. It's just a different framework. It's a different approach. It's a different perspective for people that are struggling to get started in their life and struggling to be consistent with habits, to be consistent with achieving their goals, and learning how to actually like overcome the mindset blocks and like what to do with that when it shows up, how to be aware of it, all those things. We dive deep into this program. There's activities, there's modules, there's you like a VIP Facebook group, there's all of the things that you get with it. But you guys, it's really intense and it's a really powerful program, and I'm so freaking excited to get it out. I'm so excited to help people change their lives. Another way that I support anybody, individuals, whoever, is through Arbonne. And it's not really a surprise at this point if you're already familiar with my stuff, with my page and whatever, that I'm like super passionate about this company, and like I'm so aligned with their values. I'm so aligned with the company. I'm so aligned with the products and just everything that like they stand by. 1000% I'm there with them. It's helped change my life so much. Like the products have changed my life, the community that is around that, the amount of personal development, the growth, all of the things that are just like poured into you all the time. You have access to so much stuff as like that. It's just unreal. It's literally changed every aspect of my life, and having a vehicle that is a supplementary income, that's a secondary income, because that's something else to consider too, as everything is, the cost of living is insane everywhere. Everyone's struggling, everyone's feeling it. And having one source of income from this secure job is not really enough anymore. And unfortunately, that job can literally be like taken away any second. And I've seen it time and time again. It's happened to me multiple times. It's happened to like close friends and family. I've seen people that have got that were like up in like really high management within that company, and they're just like, we have to make cuts and you're next on the list. It's just very cutthroat. You're just a number and it is what it is. So that's my opinion. And that's what it is. So having supplementary income, looking at different options should become a priority for pretty much everybody at this point in life. 2023, there's so many ways to make money online, and to have a secondary income that's just a little bit of extra support in terms of helping with gas, helping with groceries. Like groceries are insanely expensive now. Having just that little bit of cushion or a little bit of extra income that's like, I can actually start saving up for something. I can actually start saving up for this house. It just gives you other opportunities. That stress of finances and that like money mindset's like a whole other thing. Then I'll get into that in another video. But like not feeling so stressed and tight with money gives you so many more opportunities in life, and it just changes your perspective on like literally everything. Aside from the like actual business opportunity of Arbonne, the products are amazing. And yeah, a huge community, a part of that. So if those things, if any of that is something you're looking for, let's talk about it. Like, there's no weirdness, there's no strings attached. It's just let's have a conversation and see if it's a right fit. Like, it's as simple as that. I'm always looking to grow my team. I'm looking for people that are like wanting to improve their lives. So if that feels like it's a right fit for you, awesome. Let's talk. And then I also just want to close off basically saying, if you came across this video and if you're still hanging out with me up to this point, I appreciate you so much. And it's also not by accident. Opportunities present themselves to the right people every single day, multiple times a day. But it's what you do with that information and how you make a decision. Are you just going to let that opportunity go off to the side and just be like, oh, okay, whatever, I don't think that was for me? Or are you going to investigate and be curious and be like, I wonder what that is about. Let's just see. What if? Opportunities present themselves every single day. Are you going to let another opportunity go by because of fear or because of the unknown? Because of judgment? You feel like you're secure right now, comfort? I'm in no way judging whatsoever because I felt all of these things and more. I'm just trying to be like a beacon of light for you and being, hey, you've got a choice. You have an opportunity. You have potential. And it's time to start believing in yourself. And it's time to start making changes in your life that are going to improve your life and stop putting everybody else first. Because the more that you put yourself, like pour into yourself and grow and become the best version of yourself, it is wild how much people feed off of that energy. Your and like whole world is going to change. The people around you are going to change. And that often means that some people are going to be like having to leave because they've served their purpose and they are sometimes keeping you stuck and keeping you in a place where that's just not, it's not allowing you to grow. But they serve their purpose. And now it's time to choose you. It's time for you to make a decision for you. And it's time to start changing your path and your direction. It doesn't have to stay the way that it is. And it all just comes down to you and making a decision. I love you. I'm always here to talk. And I'm really excited to see how this journey unfolds for you. I'll talk to you soon.